Hey Buckaroos, welcome back to Music Com Academy. As some of you know, my wife and I, we started a different YouTube channel, and it's sort of about retirement and saving money and traveling and getting visas in different countries and all the things that one would do if you're retired and you want to live a great life, not just in one place, that kind of thing. But along with it, there's also think pieces and things that I just think people need to know, and put some thoughts in their minds and stuff like that. And one particular piece has been traded around, it's been shared a lot, and it's one of those think pieces. Typically for radio, for this channel, unless it's radio related, I don't put anything on it. Where the other one kind of runs the gamut. But the more I thought about it, it's like, yeah, this pertains to radio people too. It pertains to anybody that's alive, actually. And given where we are with the economy at the moment, I think it's really, really important to assess this for yourself, because you will probably be incredibly surprised as you hear when I started to assess myself for this. So this is the other video. I cut out the front part, which is logos and things for the other channel, and I think it'll be really good for you to watch. This is gonna be a really short video today. It's kind of a think piece. I've been thinking about this for at least 2.5 to 3 years now, and the reason for this is that I pay for a lot of economic research. A lot of different services. I'm not an expert in it, and I like to get different opinions. And when most of them start to line up, then it's like, okay, that's cool. Like, for instance, right now, gold is incredibly hot. At least two years ago, a year and a half ago, most of the investment people started to kind of hone in toward gold and silver. And, like, hey, this is the economic environment that's going on. Therefore, down the road, high debt, et cetera, it's going to make this baby start to move. So when stuff like that starts to happen, I pay attention to it. And I thought I'd just pass this on now. It has nothing to do with gold and silver. It's sort of something that's a little bit out of the box. But I think it's incredibly important, especially if you have young kids or grandkids who are coming up on college age or that type of stuff. So follow me here, hopefully. You all have heard of, the Great, Depression of 1929, the Black Friday crash, and the decade that followed when there was, super depression throughout the United States and probably around the world too. People couldn't get jobs. We've all seen it in movies. We've all seen it in documentaries where, there's like 100 guys just wanting any sort of job whatsoever. A truck pulls up and they need 4 people. Pick 4 out of the crowd, and the other 96 people, they have nothing. That got me thinking, what happens if that's what happens soon? Now, this is not 100%, but there are a lot of people, a lot of economists, a lot of these, research people that I'm talking about, they're pointing toward something really, really bad coming. Hopefully it doesn't come, but if that happens, all of a sudden, that stuff that happened in the 30s, early 30s, from 1929 on, not out of the realm to start going on now. In other words, I don't think government's going to hold everybody up, because the population now is 3 times the size that it was then. So what struck me was, if you're in 1929 or 1930 and you're an electrician, do you find work? If you're a plumber, do you find work? If you're a skilled tradesman, not just a laborer, but an actual skilled tradesman, you can make furniture, you can put in kitchens, you can actually do something that, you can build a house from scratch with other people, how it works, an architect or whatever. You're going to have a way better shot of continuing to have an income than if you're not that. Here's the whole purpose of this video. Ask yourself at this moment, if you assess your skills, the skills that you really have, do you need to work for somebody else to use them? Or if you had to just use them by yourself, are they worthless? For instance, for me, I ran radio stations. I programmed radio stations, and I was on the air to start with. But in order to do that, you need a radio station. I don't own a radio station. So my skills, out the window.
I can edit video and I can shoot video and things, but man, there's a million young kids that would be 1,000 times better than me. They would get hired and I wouldn't. In a pinch, I have no skill whatsoever. If you're in a company right now and you're doing marketing for a company, you're doing almost anything in a company, you probably don't have any skill either. Like when the rubber really hits the road, what kind of skill do you have? And the ultimate skill to me is, like if you're a plumber, you can go out to someone else or you can put an ad in, I can fix your plumbing. I can fix your electricity. I'm a licensed whatever, okay? Even a hairdresser, I can cut your hair, I know how to do that. If you can't do that to generate income, you pretty much have no skill in that environment. Now you do, but in that environment, I don't think you have any skill. You drop down to being a laborer, and you're one of those 96 people maybe that gets left behind when the truck leaves with the 4 biggest guys on it because they want somebody really, really strong, to do the hard labor work. It can be a pretty scary time. So, I'd show this to your grandkids or your own kids if they're thinking about going to college or not, or, going into the trades basically, or not the trades. What is your skill? And in a depression, and you cannot work for another company. You have to assume that. You are not going to work for anyone else. You are your own business. What do you have to sell? What skill do you have to sell? Anyway, until the next video, all the usual YouTube stuff. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and for sure also hit that bell right here, and that way you get notified that is another video coming up. Okay? Until then, see ya.